New wineskins, everybody. New wineskins. This is the topic of the day because that is scripture we've heard for a long time. You cannot put new wine into old wineskins. Why? Because the new wine busts the old wineskins. That's why. How does that relate to life? When you become a new person, you start doing new things. You can no longer think in the old way. You've become this new creation, this new thing. And the new thing can't go back to being the old way. It just doesn't work anymore. Well, you can try. You can try to go back to the way you used to be. But you're going to feel funny. You will. It will feel like, oh, what am I doing? This feels wrong. As in out of place. Listen, I'm sweating already. But do you hear what I'm saying to you today? You are a new creation because you started thinking in a new way. When you think in a new way, you speak in a new way. You speak in a new way, you behave in a new way. And so when you go back, you don't forget the new things you've done, the new person you've become. And it almost kind of creates a little bit of what you want to call a psychosis. You begin to think, wait, I can't do that anymore. I gotta change. Yeah, you do. You drive yourself mad trying to fit into the old places you used to go. It just doesn't happen because when you start doing it, when you start living this new way, once your new habit has taken hold of you and you start doing that new thing, the old thing, it is submerged beneath it. That's what happens to it. It gets buried underneath the new way. And if you forget yourself, meaning you want to become real comfortable and, lean back a little bit, rest on the laurels, you begin to do the old thing. And then all of a sudden you hear, wait, what? That's not me. I don't do that anymore. And then what happens? Sometimes, because we're human, we feel guilty for having done the old way. Guilt has no place in your life. No, banish it today. Because you're always learning. So how can guilt have a foothold on you? We are always learning. Guilt is, I feel so bad. What good is feeling bad going to do for you? It gums you up. It blocks you. It blocks you. And that's why it is old man behavior. You heard that phrase, Neville Goddard. The old man. Once you become the new man, the new person, the new woman, then what do? Act accordingly. You can't go back anymore. And here's the question. Would you want to? What do you want to? I read that on a forum. I won't say which one, but I read it in a forum. I wish I could go back to sleep. I can't live this life. And I'm like, wait, what? Why would you choose darkness? Why would you choose that? See, that is old thinking. And that old thinking, when we practice it over and over again, you see, the things that we encounter begin to overwhelm us. Because the old man was never equipped to deal with those things. But the new man is. The new human, the way you think now, has been created to handle these things that we encounter around us. Because they went on to mention all the horrors in the world. And I'm like, but that's the old man. The old man only sees the horror. But the new man sees the horror and understands where it comes from. and shines. Because you cannot defeat darkness by becoming it. You must remain the light. So your new way of thinking, your new way of speaking, your new way of behaving is freedom. It's a bright light that you're walking. You know, Care Bears. Care Bears there. They emit this powerful light. Yeah. That's your new way, so you can't go backwards. It will drive you mad. Just like that person said. I can't be here. I can't handle this. Because you're looking at it through old eyes. So today, your new way of being, is what you carry forward with. It creates inner peace within you, in spite of what you see around you in the world. Because as I say, there's 8 billion of us, 8 billion thoughts going out every, millisecond? Huge, that's a lot. So the new way of thinking, you see it for what it is. You know what it is. You don't fall prey to it any longer. This is the beauty of what you have now. And this is why when the scripture tells you you can't put new wine into old wineskins, that's what it's telling you. You cannot go back to the way you used to be. Because it will overwhelm you and make you feel powerless. And when you feel powerless, well, then we just begin to act a fool, don't we? That's the problem with trying to go back to the old man. Once you've outgrown a stage, you can't go back. But that's tomorrow. You hear what I'm saying to you today? You are learning and practicing a new way of living and being. Then you must rise from there, not regress. Notice how regress and regret sound very similar. To go back. Neville Goddard says it very well. To regret is to reinfect the body. You're souring your wine. You can't do that. Because sour wine, have you ever tasted sour wine? It is not pleasant. That's what it makes you do. Like vinegar. Sometimes vinegar is better than sour wine. But we don't go backwards. We continue on the pathway forward in our new way of being and living. That new way opens up the door for you in every facet of your life. Every single facet. So if you're tempted to say crazy things like, oh man, I wish I didn't know this. Life was easier when I was ignorant of things. Ignorance really is bliss. Ignorance is a fast track. Quick, painful death. Physically and spiritually. You must know what you are doing. You must. And you must make choices based upon your new way. This is why when old habits present themselves to you so that you can change them into new ones, that's what it's doing. It's preserving you. So anytime you stop and you say, man, again, why am I doing this again? That's your body telling you, well, you have this new way of living now that conflicts with this, so let's change this old thing. That's what your body's doing. You see, it is always for your betterment. That's that new wine. It is always for your betterment. So it doesn't matter where you think, you know how in church they call it backsliding. You're sliding back into the world, back into the flesh, as if you ever left the flesh. We are in it. And so when you begin to feel, oh no, I'm slipping, remind yourself, hey, I'm learning and practicing a new way of living and being. Let me refocus myself. What is that activity that I'm doing again? Oh, right. Let's do that. Every time, until the body takes a hold of that new habit and does it for you, because it is so eager to help you. It really, truly is. And if you would watch it, you'd know that it is there to assist at every turn, because it likes to assist you. It's a great helper, but it can't handle being the ruler, because it doesn't know how to give instruction. It knows how to follow instruction. So when your body says, but you don't live like that anymore, can we change that now so we can have some peace, please? Listen to it and do what it is suggesting to you, because it is suggesting it because it sees where you want to go, and it has taken the direction from you so that it can go where you're telling it. That's what it's doing. And it's showing you the block in the road, because it does not want to stumble. It doesn't like it. So it's saying, this is in our way. Can we fix that, please? That's what it's doing. It's helping you so that you can progress and revel in the new wine that you've become. This is the word today. You are new wine. So you can no longer go back to the old wineskin way of living. You've outgrown it. That old way has shrunk. New wine is tasty and full body, and it will break that old wineskin. So you don't want to go back. This is what it is. Think about that for a moment. The privilege of having the ability to change your life and to direct it where you want it to go. Think about how powerful that is. You mean I don't have to suffer? You got that right. You mean I don't have to fret? Yep. You mean I don't have to worry? Yep. You mean I don't have to be overwhelmed? Yes. How come? Because when you recognize the sensation of overwhelm beginning to rise in your body by way of anxiety, you know how they get. You simply say, oh, we have a new way of doing things now. And you show your body the new sensation that you want it to feel. And it says, oh, so we're doing it this way. And you say, yes, we are. And if you forget, I will remind you. That's what you do. That is what you have the power to do. This is why you can't be afraid. You cannot be afraid of living. You see, the only time we get afraid of living is when we don't know who's in the driver's seat, who's calling the shots. That's because you willingly handed over your existence to somebody else. But when you are the one in control of your existence, you simply say, oh, I'm making these experiences that I want to have. It is that simple. It really, truly is. You think I can tell the better man that he can't do something? I sure can't, because he knows what he's capable of doing now. That's what the law does. It busts out of the old wineskins, shreds them. Yeah, it shreds those old wineskins. You can't go back. And you know you don't want to, and so you don't. Because you see, oh, I know what I can do. You know what you are capable of. That's what it is. So today, take a moment. Take a moment to bask in the beauty of what you have, the power of what you are capable of doing in your own life. And know that every time you take a step forward in the direction that you want to go in, you change. And every time you step forward, you change more. And every time you step forward, you change more. You might not see that change because, well, we can't see how the cells behave in the body, but we can feel it as within, so without. Whatever's going on the inside of you, you will experience on the outside, in your body or by way of experience. So it's always going to be telling you what it's doing. It will tell you what directive it is following. That's what your body will do. Because you're becoming the new man. That's what you're doing. Think about that. We can learn a thing or two from the snake. The snake does it all the time. It sheds its old skin. Oh, and you notice it can't fit back in it. It cannot fit back into that old skin that it has shed because it is no longer that particular snake. Well, then we can take a chapter or two from the snake. You see, nature teaches. She is the best teacher there is, and she teaches by experience. So if you observe nature, you'll see it all around you, things that regenerate themselves. And then they become the new thing that can no longer be the old. I just saw the image of the snake. They need a little bit of friction to get started, so they rub against something until that first piece of skin catches, and then they work their way out of it. And if you pay attention, that's what we do. Skin sheds. Not like the snake, but it sheds. Red blood cells become new when? Every 120 days. Every 120 days you get new red blood cells. So something in that 120 days is happening within your body to accommodate the new red blood cells. So you see, all around, we are being shown we change, we grow. That's what we're showing ourselves every single day as we look around in the world. It's the rhythm. It is the rhythm. You can't escape it. But you can fall in line with rhythm. There's an ebb and a flow. In that ebb state, it seems like there's nothing going on, but there's plenty happening because nothing stands still. The law of vibration tells you that. So you see today, we're always growing. We're always learning and implementing. And I gave you those examples just in case you perhaps wanted to doubt what I was saying or wanted to believe me. Don't believe me? Know it. Look around. In the ebb state, right now in winter, the ground is frozen solid. But if you planted your garlic back in October, your garlic has been putting down roots. And come mid-April, they spring forth. That's how long garlic takes. Your tulips, same thing. You plant them at that last possible moment, October. And they sit, apparently, dormant beneath the surface. They're not dormant because you know that everything moves, everything vibrates. And they rest there and they're burrowing deeper down. That's what they're doing. so that you can have a new plant in the spring. So if you see that new things happen in the spring with nature, your ebb state now is to get out your journal and you write, oh, where am I now? Where do I want to be? How do I want to be in the spring? And in that ebb state, after you've written it down, you begin to practice your burrowing your roots down. You're becoming the new man, but you need to be anchored. That's why the roots dig down. And you know bamboo. I don't have to tell you bamboo. You're sick of hearing about bamboo because you know what it does. You see, everywhere is telling us that there's a season, there's a rhythm, there's an ebb and a flow. You gather your resources and your strength in the ebb so that you can move in the time of flow. You will need to sustain yourself when the flow happens. This is why it is so important. This is why it is so important that you recognize the new wine that is happening in your life. You're doing it. You are in the cask. That's what's happening. Because that's how they, us Bajans know a thing or two about rum. World's oldest and best tasting rum. Why? Because of the process and how long it sits in the ebb. That's what you're doing. And once you move from that ebb into the flow state, that is your new wine. That is your new way of being. Ponder that. Let us take a moment to welcome everyone to the space. The good news about Twitter this morning is that it's recording and it's there for the replay gang. But we don't stop, do we? Fan base, Yolanda, Miss McQueen, KZ, Miss Ravioli, Zola, My Melanin, and Matthias. I see you here in the fan base world. YouTube, I see you. Now, for Twitter and fan base, you might want to check out what happened on that YouTube if you weren't there. You might want to check that out. Yesterday's replay. It was awesome. Hello, Will, Empress Ella, Pens, Miss Ravioli, Walter, the better man. I'm looking at you, kid. David, Queen Marat, Anot, Sonia, Muck 45. Now I have to figure out a way of adding people as moderators because in YouTube it won't let me add by way of channel, but I'll figure it out. I was trying to figure out how to do it here through StreamYard, but I don't know how to do that there yet. But I'll figure it out for the ones who want to be. So that's there. So does that make sense to you today, my beautiful friends? If you look around at nature, you will see how you are becoming new wine every single time. You have a stage that you go through. The ebb. And when the ebb is over, you flow. You don't have to ask, how long is this going to take? Ties, tidbits. Indeed, the law is beautiful. You never have to ask, how long is the ebb going to last? The minute you stop to ask, you delay yourself. Just go through the ebb. How do you know you're in the ebb? What a beautiful question. How do you know that you're in the ebb? When you're learning. You are in the ebb. When you're recognizing old patterns, old habits, you are in the ebb. And the reason why they come to you in that state is because you are moving a little bit slower in the ebb. You have the time and you have the resources to change right in the ebb. Because when it's flow time, you don't have time. It's flowing. You need to go with the flow. Rest with the ebb. Oh, snap. Somebody make a t-shirt. Go with the flow and rest with the ebb. This is what it is. So remember today, my friend, that you are always becoming new wine. Always becoming new wine. And when you become new wine, a new wine skin is required. New thought, new way of living. Thought is the wine. Way of living is the wine skin. You gotta go with that. Go with the flow of things. You gather yourself in the ebb. The things you want to change, the things you want to become, gather them there. And you use the law of polarity because you can see where you are and you see where you want to be. And you begin those steps. Once you begin those steps there in the ebb, when you begin to flow, what do you know? You're flowing with the steps you just set out in polarity. Now there's no more, what should I do? What should I be doing? You always know what to do. The minute you see it in polarity, where you are and where you want to be, you know exactly what to do. You know the steps to take. But what trips us is the how. You know what to do. How it unfolds is simply, let's put it to you in the way of the law here. When you decide what you are doing, what steps you are taking, you are polarizing your vibration in that direction. And the longer you polarize a vibration, the more magnetic it becomes. And the more magnetic it becomes, it draws. Because that's the attraction, that's the power of the magnet. It draws unto itself all the things that match it, thereby giving shape and form. That is how it's happening. Now, I love the way that Einstein and Billy Carson explained it, because they're quantum people, you know, scientists. And when you have a mass, like the planet, it is a mass, and it is heavy and it is big, and it warps space and time around it. And then it begins to pull things towards itself. But remember always, that planet is moving. And it is moving at a particular frequency, a rate of vibration, magnetism. And so it begins to draw things towards itself. Meteors, satellites, right? So Einstein says, well, Billy says, put your consciousness, your awareness in the space of the planet. Now you are the one moving and vibrating and becoming magnetized, and thus bringing it towards yourself. This is the origin of the law of attraction. So in order for something to attract something else, it must be magnetized. So it is the movement of the vibration. Law number 3, everything vibrates, everything moves. And the more you stay polarized in that vibration. So if you're thinking a particular thought incessantly over and over and over again, you're magnetizing it, because a thought has a vibration. How do you know? Because everything vibrates. So the thought that you're thinking the most, the longer you think it, the more magnetic it becomes. And that's why the more magnetic it becomes, that thought, because it doesn't stay in your head. It is projected outward. How do you know? The law of gender. Masculine is to project, to push forth, projectile, right? It flies outward. So when you have that thought that you've been ruminating on over and over and over again, it becomes magnetic. This is why now you have to experience the thing you've been thinking about the most. You've magnetized yourself. That's what you're doing by way of law. And when you understand it by way of law, when you comprehend it by way of law, you begin to see what you are actually doing. Because if I tell you things in quantum physics, listen, this is why quantum physics is beautiful. Quantum physics is the feminine. It is the womb of the projection. The thing that was projected is now what you must see. So this is why they can explain quantum physics, because they can see the workings of the law. They might not know the law, but they see the workings of it. The law is invisible. Quantum physics is visible. As within, so without. As above, so below. This is why you can understand quantum physics. Now you have 360 degrees. Now you have a better understanding. So now when someone comes to you and says to you, oh, you have to bend time and space, it means you have to be the focal point. You have to be the mass. You have to be the awareness. And you have to be aware of the thought that you are thinking, so that when you polarize yourself, I hope I didn't lose you in the pudding, but do you see what I'm saying to you today? When you know and comprehend the laws, the mysteries begin to unravel. They are only mysteries because we don't know the law. And look at how much you learn about yourself and everything around you. As above, so below. That's how you shrink it to expand. You shrink the message of the law to tell you that as you are, you must encounter. Where's that in quantum physics? Attraction, cohesion. And this is why you cannot put new wine in old wineskins, because the old no longer is there. It can't be there anymore because you've changed. You've elevated your vibration. So now you can't now willingly choose to go back to the old. This is what I'm telling you today. It is imperative that we get it. We are always learning and growing. And it doesn't matter what the situation is. The situation only seems really, really big. The situation seems like an asteroid coming at you. Brace for impact. But what do you do instead? Change your trajectory by changing your thought. And the meteor will pass you by. This is how it works in our lives. But if we sit and we say, my life is not changing, I can't live this way anymore, my life sucks. What are you doing when you do that? You are magnetizing despair. Because you keep looking at it. So the next time you feel like you want to wallow in despair, remember, the longer you wallow, the faster you vibrate, the more magnetic you become. And then, well, you can predict what's going to happen. Well, how can you predict? Because causation tells you, if you know the cause, you can predict the effect, the outcome. Wallow in despair, you get more despair. How do you change? Because this is the new wine now. You look at the despair and you say, okay, I see you. You don't smell so good, but I see you. And you say, well, this is where I am right now. Why are you in despair? Because I have no money, I have no friends, I have no life, I don't know what to do. That's why. Okay, so where do you want to be? I want more money, I want friends, I want something to do. You want money. Money comes to you in 4 ways. Earn it, find it, win it, or be given it. 4 ways. Choose which one you want to experience. That will help you get rid of your money problem. You have no friends. What kind of friend are you? And you start to list off all the things that you think are good things about you. Well, there, now that takes care of your friend. Why? Because as you are, you, what? As within, so without? Yes. You have nothing to do. Well, what do you like doing? It doesn't matter who told you you can't do it. If you like doing it, now that's the thing you start doing. So now do you see how you can eradicate despair? It's not the despair, it's what's hiding underneath despair. Despair is just an umbrella. Name your despair, because as you name the despair, you create the solution for it. Now look at that. You've just created new wine. I trust this makes a little bit of sense today, because sometimes we become overwhelmed. And when you become overwhelmed, as soon as you begin to feel it in your body, get out your pen and paper, or your pencil and paper, and you write down the thing on the left of the page. So you want to turn your page landscape. You need more room, yes? Turn it landscape. And you write down the thing on the left that is annoying you. You write it down, because that's where you are. And now on the right side of the page, in a straight line, where do you want to be? So if you see where you are, then clearly you can see where you want to be, because if it is broke, money, right? If it is sadness, well, wait, what? Why? Then you have to ask yourself, why am I sad? Because that is where you are. And then you write down why you're sad. You can see how to get the happiness. You can see what the happiness is. And that's the direction you point yourself in. And that's the step you take every day, every moment of the day. That is the new wine that you continually create. But there's no time left to sit here and say, I cannot. You know why I tell you that? Because every time I go into some forums and I see despair, I cannot give up with what I do. I cannot. It doesn't matter how much I dislike despair, I cannot give up what I do. Because if I do, then nobody will hear the message and they will continue in their despair, when it is actually easy to free yourself from it. So every day I have to keep creating new wine. Every day. I must grow and learn so that I can understand the information and teach it, educate. This is why. Because I understand what humanity wants. How do I know? Because I know what the individual wants. Well, how do you know that? Because I know what I want. And as I get it, I give it. Because you too must have it, so that you can live the best life possible. So today, creating new wine. Creating the new way you want to live, and then living it. That is wine and wineskin together, because they don't travel alone. They travel together. So the message for you today is, you've got this in the bag. You do. Because now that you understand how to fix it, you won't be overwhelmed anymore. You won't feel worry or frustration. When it comes, you'll be like, oh, I know what to do with you. And what are you doing? You're doing something called mental alchemy. You are transmuting the harmful into the harmless. You think if people understood how to do this, we'd be in the predicament we're in right now? No, we wouldn't. And that's why I'm teaching it to you. You must practice. And one of the best ways, because your body is a very good transmitter and receiver. It sends information and it receives information. Feedback. It will tell you exactly what's happening. And when it tells you what you are feeling based on the thought you are having, because you hear all the time in the other communities, oh, you got to be happy all the time. You got to think positive. That's not the case. You might want to think positive, but if your body says to you, please, I'm way in the dumpster today. I don't have it. You're conflicted now. So what do you want to do instead? It's not a matter of thinking positive. Remember, positive is just an umbrella. It's just an umbrella. There's something beneath it. Name that. And you've fixed yourself. Well, what's the example? Angela, I'm stuck in grief. I lost someone I really love, and I just can't see my way past that grief. Now, grief means you're mourning the loss of. You see, there's only the loss of the physical, But if you reminisce about the good things that person who is no longer with you did for you. Now, I was going to say that, but I won't. If you reminisce about the good things and the good times you had with that person, and now you bring a smile to your face because you are remembering the good, what you learned. I don't miss my grandfather anymore. I don't need to. Because as soon as I pull him up in my thoughts, he's right there. He's got some tasty morsel to teach me. But Angela, what if he was mean? Well, then I don't think of him if he's mean. I don't want to put my hand in the fire. Come on. You don't think of people if they're mean. That's why you think of the good. So now when you start to think of the good that that person brought to your life and what you shared with that person, now the grief is a little lighter. Why? Because you're actually raising your vibration with the good thoughts you're having of them. You're not thinking positively. You are remembering the good that they did in your life and what you exchanged together. It lightens the burden of grief and it opens the chest so you can breathe when you do that. And then all of a sudden you go back and you look through pictures and you're busy and you're cracking up and you're laughing at their funny faces that they used to make at the camera or a funny story they told you. You notice how the grief is left? They're still gone. But you're not focused on them being gone anymore. You're thinking about the contribution that they gave to your life. And now you can get up from there and go about the day. Because the sadness is an umbrella. Name why you are sad, and you will see how to raise your vibration. This is what it is. There's no need to languish. This is how you create new wine. This is how you create new wine every single day. This is how you create new wine every single day, by doing the thing you want to practice and become good at. That's just how you do it. So when I tell you that you are bigger than any problem, you know why you're bigger than any problem? Because a problem is meant to be solved, not feared. Problems are meant to be solved, not feared. Now, we spend a lot of time fearing the problem instead of solving it. Feel me? Now, Sonia, Angela, you make me want to add Ella. Oh, snap. You know what, Sonia, that did cross my mind. Because, you know, the umbrella. And funny enough, that's our resident Bajan girl, huh? Yeah, from one Bajan to the next. Hey, hey. That's what it is. You see now that I said that after Sonia shared it, you'll remember that the thing is under an umbrella, and that song will trigger for you, and you'll go, crazy Angela. But in saying, crazy Angela, you have just raised your vibration because you did something different. You thought differently from how you were continually thinking. So you see, there's a method to the madness, isn't there? So that's why I want you to get a hold of what I'm saying to you today. When you make that new wine, live in a new way. You see, because when you start doing the new action and you understand why you're doing it, you won't stop and say, why is it taking so long to change? Why can't I be better? Why is it taking so long? You won't do that because you recognize where you are in the ebb and the flow. That's what you'll do. Listen, I'm not telling you something I don't do. I have to live these laws every day. Have to? Because I wouldn't have it any other way. And I'm glad I know them, because now I don't have to suffer. I don't have to be in pain. I don't have to be lonely. I don't have to fret. All the things that plague us as humans. So now when I come along and say to you, choose your emotion, you'll know exactly what to do. Because control them. That's pure raw energy, people. Choose the energy and control it. Choose it. See what power you have? That's what I want you to know. Within yourself, you have the power because you are at the center of your universe. People talk about a multiverse. Yeah, there's 8 billion of them. Each person has their own universe they're creating. Each person. We all have our own universe we are creating. Make it a good one. Why should you want to escape from your universe? Create it, don't escape it. Because you're not trapped, you know. You're not trapped. You just don't have the information. That's all. But now that you have the information, as Thoth the Atlantean says, you now have the keys to open any door. You have the keys to open any door. Use the keys. Don't just sit there behind the door and go, I'm stuck, I can't get out. Put your hand in your pocket. Take out the key. What is the key? The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. As within, so without. As above, so below. Everything vibrates between two poles, a swing to and fro, creating a rhythm, an ebb and a flow. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause, a projection of the will giving life, giving form. thought takes you all the way to form, you see what you are capable of doing now. Remember that. If you ever feel stuck in a situation, get out your pencil and paper and you write down where you are now on the left, on your landscape page, and you write down on the right where you want to be. And as soon as you write that down, that is step 1 and step 2, where you're from to. Number 3 is what's the first step you're going to take, and you know exactly what it is. If it is more money, there are 4 ways. Earn it, find it, win it, or it is given. 4 ways. If you have another way that money comes, drop it in the chat and let me know. So now we don't have time to say I'm broke anymore, because there are 4 ways. You can solve any problem by simply using the law. You have 7 of them to choose from. Tell me how the all was not kind. Because we all don't think the same way, but we all think. So we find the one that matches us the most based on our personality. Mind you, you're going to do them all. You're just picking out the one that stands out most based on your learning style. If you're a cause and effect kind of person, you'll go that way. If you're a gender person, you'll go that way. Mentalism, you'll go that way. Of course, you'll go that way. You feel me? You have 7 to choose from that will always give you the desired effect you're looking for. So you see, keep creating your new wine on a daily basis, which means to learn and implement your new way of thinking and being. And you'll walk around with a joy that is unspeakable. Because you can't put it into words. And then you will develop a true sense of worship. Because when you recognize that the law is what guides and protects and does everything for you, that silence that you feel, that awe that you feel, that is worship. That is gratitude. And you do it naturally. So that is what I will tell you on this lovely day, my beautiful friends, because I don't want to keep you any longer. So, Jeff, hey, you'll have to catch the replay. But thank you for being here in Twitter. Countdown initiated. And you all know that once we close everything, I end up on YouTube. So if you want to catch that, you know, when you dip your bread in the gravy, yeah, you want to catch that part. Because we had one of those yesterday. Mind you, we have them every day, but yesterday, you want that. So I'll see you on YouTube if you feel so inclined to come over. Jeff, I love you. Thank you for being here. Let me do that. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love, Twitter. Much love. Twitter is closed. I have a free fan base. I missed Summer Rose this morning. I see you, Toyera, Jamea, Matthias, My Melanin, KZ, Zola, Miss Ravioli, Miss McQueen, and Yolanda. I see you. And again, Yolanda, you are amazing. Thank you for being here and being my extra pair of hands and keeping me in line and making sure that others are here and such. I appreciate it truly, my nine. I do. Yeah. All right, fan base, I'm gonna catch y'all Yeah, I'll be on YouTube. Miss Ravioli's already over there. I'll see y'all. Fan base is closed. Hey, YouTube. I trust that today made sense for you guys because, let me go back and see if I've missed anything. Muck 45, I see you. Sonia. Anot. Queen Mara. I'm just trying to read to see if I've missed anything. David. Oh, I'm the better man. Oh, thank you. I'm positively and definitely a teacher that knows how to teach. Oh, because the law made me do it. The law made me do it. Thank you, the better man. Walter, Miss Ravioli, Pens, Empress Ella, and Will, hello to you too. Ties Tidbits. K-Frame, hey, thank you for your generous contribution today. I truly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Sinovia, I see you. I missed you yesterday. Yeah, that's what it is, guys. So remember today, right, that we are master winemakers. We make that vintage stuff, yeah, that beautiful taste. Whether it be smooth or full-bodied or fruity, we don't know, but we make good wine. We make good wine and we live it every day. It is imperative that we do. Yes, that's how it is. Because now that you know that you're the one in charge and making your wine, you won't find yourself in a situation where you're like, I don't know what to do. I'm alone in the world. Listen, you could be alone in the world. When you got law, you can make friends. You see it? You could be alone, y'all. But when you use the law, you can make your friends because you recreate yourself. You recreate the essence of yourself because the law, it permeates the entire. I do not know how many universes there are. I know how many humans there are based upon the census, 8 billion, right? So then I can presume, yes, there are 8 billion universes because we are all making our own universe. But beyond that, use the law of correspondence. The law of correspondence tells you as above, so below. So if there's 8 billion people here who are all making our own universe, well then, above us, there are more. So you see, it's like, we have it within us. The law makes you bold. Didn't somebody say that to me yesterday? They said to me, Angela, I felt emboldened and I did something. And I was like, oh, you don't say. Because that's what the law does. It emboldens us. Ah, you were at the airport. Ah, my travel buddy, are you? I don't like to travel. Well, I do, but you know what? Perhaps I should practice teleportation because I do like to travel. I just don't like how I have to travel. I don't like that part. I don't like boats. I don't like planes. No, a train. Perhaps I should try teleportation. I'm sure it is possible. I'm sure it is. It's just that matter moves real slow, like molasses. I know you love traveling, Sonoya. Yeah. But I just want to encourage you today. Keep making that new wine, my friend. Keep making it. And keep living it. Because you have what it takes. And I'm so excited to hear more and more of your testimonies because it is. There was also another one I got. Listen, I got 3 testimonies yesterday. The better man started that off. And then somebody else. And then somebody else. And I was like, oh, snap. You see, you become emboldened. The law will do that to you. And you notice how when you are emboldened, you don't walk with your head down and go, oh, I'm so insignificant. You notice how you don't do that? Because that's not how the law functions. When you are emboldened, you are courageous and you say, I got this. And you say it with your whole chest. That's what you do, because that's what the law makes you do. You cannot be timid. You may start out timid, but that new wine you make, you can't pour that into a timid wineskin. You need a bold wineskin for that. So you see, the law has its way of molding and shaping each and every one of us if we would but use it. Because you can, listen, you can bet your bottom dollar the law is being used to learn and apply. You notice how the law doesn't keep you at its mercy? You're not at the mercy of the law, you know. You are in alignment with it if you use it. The only way to become at the mercy of the law is if you don't know it and you try and fight against it. It'll bust you up. I'm sorry. See, that's how it works. It's like water, you know. The law is like water. If you don't, you're out there and a rogue wave comes up, see you later, right? But when you use the law, you harness all of that power. You just do. You harness it. Isn't that a good thing? Yes. It truly, truly is. That way, when you harness it, you're not like a ship without a rudder being tossed to and fro on the rocks. Because that's what happens to us when we don't know the law and we don't practice it. And then we're like, oh, why is this happening to me? Why is my life this way? Blah, blah, blah. But that's why. So use the law so it can anchor you. So you can go anywhere. You are anchored yet free. Look at the paradox. Anchored by the law yet free. Because you're in bondage when you're not anchored by the law. What are you in bondage to? What are you in bondage to if you're not practicing the law? Because clearly the law sets you free. So if you're not free, you are in bondage. But to whom? Your thoughts and the more powerful thoughts of others. So allow the law to free you. Because the law is there because it frees everything. That's why it is there. When the all created the laws, it is above the law. It is above the law because the laws come from it. Oh, that's coming on March 31st. The all. We're going to talk about the all. Which is the first principle, the first law. The all is mine. The all. And look at that. The way that it is free, it wants you to be free also. I want you to see it for yourself. It wants you to be free also. Because as within, so without. The all lives by it. It's not governed by it, but it lives by it. As within, so without. As within the all is what we experience now on the outside. not really outside the y'all, because then it wouldn't be the y'all. We're in the y'all, but you understand what I'm saying. We get to live by the law and be free the same way that we always free. What a beautiful thing that is. It is a very, very beautiful thing to be free. That's what the all wants. And as scripture tells you, whom the sun sets free is free indeed. So you live by the law. You can't be recaptured. By whom? Nobody. Because you're free. You're sovereign. That's what it is. You are sovereign. You self-govern. Because the all self-governs. But that's for the 31st. That is your tasty tidbit. Tie. I wonder if you've noticed there's a sound bath coming up in, what, is that 2 days or 3 days? What is today? Today's the 8th. It's coming up in 3 days for members of YouTube. Members of Patreon, you will have your own. Members on Fanbase, you'll have your own. Because I have to test it out. Because when you have been monetized by YouTube, you have different things that unlock for you. And because I have 9 members now, I have to do something that is for them, right? Because that's what's unlocked. And I didn't, there were a number of options. A members only chat, so they were the only ones who could type in the chat. And I don't like that. I find it restrictive. But I chose the members only sound bath because now on the other platforms I can do a sound bath for all the other members over there, right? So it's like I'm just practicing and learning how to do these things because YouTube says, you know, you got to engage. But you guys engage every day with me and we engage with each other. But that sound bath is coming up. I have my Tibetan bowl. David, where are you? I don't know if you're still here, but I have a Tibetan bowl that someone gave to me years and years ago. And that's what I'll be using. When you, I'm such a bad girl. When you rub it the right way, it gives you a beautiful sound. And so I also have my tuning forks. I have to find my crystal one. I put it away where I wouldn't be able to break it. No, I can't find it. But I have to find it because the crystal fork is beautiful as well. And so that's something I'll be doing for us because sound, vibration, everything vibrates. And so sound vibrates. And the vibration of the sound causes an effect in your body. Whether to calm you, or to invigorate, or to rejuvenate you, it does something to you. Because the body receives information and transmits it. Right? So, that's why I chose sound. We'll do a light one, depending on who's watching the screen, but we'll do a light as well, a particular color. Because remember, everything vibrates. Light is also vibrating. And so the vibration from the light also causes an effect in the body. And so those are different things I'm implementing now for us to, help us to continue making new wine. So all these things are coming down the pipe. So if there's something you would like implemented, especially if you're a member, if there's something, listen, even if you aren't, because I don't exclude anyone here, whatever it is that you want to suggest. I just opened my eyes. There's Miss M. Good morning. You're part of the replay gang. But no, so if there's ever a suggestion that you would like, definitely, my email now. My email. So you can definitely drop me a line and let me know. PositivelyAngela@shaw.ca. I'm just typing it. Oops. I think I spelled everything right because I'm typing with one hand. That's where you can always send me your suggestions, and or any questions that you may have. Yeah. And so in 3 days, we have the sound bath, and I will probably do it for all 3 platforms. Yeah, I probably will, because I'm experimenting and learning, right? Let's see. I think I got everybody's comments and such. And for anybody who did not make themselves known in the chat, I still see you. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to tell you today. 3 days till the sound bath. Yeah. I look forward to that day. I do. I'm also looking forward to another day, too. 2 days. But don't let me count. Anywho, everybody, I love you. And I will see you soon. Alrighty then. Much love, everybody. Much love.